Elon Musk thinks he's winning the electric car war. He's not. A Chinese company you've barely heard of is selling more electric cars than Tesla, and they're doing it for half the price while making more profit. There's a battle happening right now that will determine the future of transportation. On one side is Tesla, the company that made electric cars cool. The brand everyone knows, the cars celebrities drive, led by Elon Musk, the richest person on Earth. On the other side is BYD, a Chinese company that started making batteries for phones. Most Americans have never heard of them, but they're about to change everything. In 2023, BYD sold more electric vehicles than Tesla for the first time. Not just more EVs, way more. And they did it while charging half the price Tesla charges. They're also profitable, which Tesla barely is despite all the hype. This isn't just a business story. This is geopolitics, technology, manufacturing, national pride, the future of energy and climate change. Everything's wrapped up in this fight. Today, we're going deep into the electric car war. Tesla versus BYD. How they got here, how they make cars, how much money they really make, who's actually winning, and what this means for the future. Because whoever wins this war doesn't just win the car market, they win the future. And right now, the smart money isn't on the company you think. Let me start with numbers that'll shock you. In the fourth quarter of 2023, BYD sold 526,000 EVs. Tesla sold 484,000. BYD beat Tesla. For the whole year 2023, BYD sold over 3 million new energy vehicles, which includes both pure electric and plug-in hybrids. Tesla sold 1.8 million. BYD absolutely destroyed Tesla in volume. But here's what makes this really interesting. Most people in the West still think Tesla is the dominant EV company. They think Elon Musk invented the electric car. They think Tesla is synonymous with EVs the way Kleenex is with tissues. That perception is completely wrong in most of the world. In China, the world's largest car market, BYD is the EV leader and has been for years. Tesla is just another foreign brand trying to compete. Let's talk about how these companies started, because their origins explain a lot about their strategies. Tesla was founded in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Elon Musk invested early and eventually became CEO, though not without kicking out the founders and rewriting history to make it seem like he started the company. But that's another story. Tesla's mission was ambitious: make electric cars that didn't suck. At the time, electric cars were seen as slow, ugly golf carts for environmentalists. The Toyota Prius was the best-selling electric vehicle, and car enthusiasts mocked it. Tesla wanted to make electric cars that were fast, beautiful, and desirable. Cars that people wanted to drive, not just cars people bought to feel good about the environment. Their first car, the Tesla Roadster in 2008, proved the concept. It was fast, 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. It looked good, and it was electric. It cost over $100,000 and they barely made any of them. But it proved electric cars could be cool. Then came the Model S in 2012. This was Tesla's breakthrough, a luxury sedan that was genuinely competitive with BMW and Mercedes. Fast, long range, great technology. And it sold. Not in huge numbers, but enough to prove there was a market. The Model X SUV followed in 2015. Then the Model 3 in 2017, which was supposed to be Tesla's mass-market car. Starting at $35,000, it was meant to bring electric cars to normal people. Tesla's strategy was top-down. Start with expensive, low-volume cars for wealthy early adopters. Use the profits and lessons learned to make cheaper, higher-volume cars. Eventually achieve economies of scale and make EVs affordable for everyone. It's a sound strategy, and it's kind of working. The Model 3 became the best-selling EV globally for several years. But Tesla has always had problems. Production hell, quality issues, delivery delays, wild promises from Elon that never materialize, full self-driving that still doesn't work after a decade, the Cybertruck that was supposed to launch in 2021 and finally came out in tiny numbers in late 2023. Elon's increasingly erratic behavior and controversial statements that alienate customers. Tesla's story is constant chaos. Now let's talk about BYD. They started in 1995 making rechargeable batteries. Not for cars, for phones and other electronics. They were good at it. By the early 2000s, they were one of the world's largest battery manufacturers. In 2003, the same year Tesla was founded, BYD entered the car business. They bought a failing Chinese automaker and started making gasoline cars. Their early cars were terrible, cheap copies of other manufacturers' designs, low quality. But they learned. They gradually improved. And importantly, they were making money. Unlike Tesla, which lost billions for most of its existence, BYD was profitable from early on. BYD's real advantage was vertical integration. They made their own batteries, which is the most expensive part of an EV. Most car companies buy batteries from suppliers. Tesla buys from Panasonic, LG, and others. BYD makes their own. This gives them cost advantages and control over their supply chain. In the late 2000s, BYD started making plug-in hybrid vehicles, and then pure electric vehicles. Their first EVs were not impressive, but they kept improving. And they had something Tesla didn't: government support. The Chinese government decided electric vehicles were strategic. They wanted China to lead in EVs, so they poured subsidies into the industry. BYD, as a Chinese company, benefited enormously. Throughout the 2010s, BYD built manufacturing capacity at a scale Tesla couldn't match. They were making hundreds of thousands of EVs and plug-in hybrids. They weren't competing with Tesla yet. They were selling cheap EVs in China, mostly to taxi fleets and government buyers. But they were learning and scaling. By 2020, BYD was the world's largest seller of new energy vehicles. Most people in the West didn't notice because BYD didn't sell cars in America or Europe. But in China and other developing markets, they were dominant. Then in the last few years, BYD exploded. Their technology improved dramatically. Their cars went from cheap and ugly to genuinely competitive, and they started exporting to Europe, Southeast Asia, Latin America, everywhere except the US. Let's compare the cars these companies actually make. Tesla has 4 models currently in production: Model S, the luxury sedan; Model X, the luxury SUV; Model 3, the mass-market sedan; Model Y, the mass-market SUV. That's it. 4 models. They've been promising a cheaper model, sometimes called Model 2, for years. It keeps getting delayed. The Cybertruck finally launched, but production is tiny and it's plagued with problems. Tesla's cars are expensive. The cheapest Model 3 starts around $40,000 after recent price cuts. Most people buying Teslas spend $50,000 to $80,000. These are not cheap cars. They're positioned as premium products. BYD, by contrast, has dozens of models: sedans, SUVs, hatchbacks, trucks, buses. They have something for every segment and price point. Their cheapest EV, the Seagull, sells for under $11,000 in China. $11,000 for a new electric car. That's insane. It's small and basic, but it works. It's a real car that people can actually afford. BYD also makes high-end cars. Their Han sedan and Tang SUV compete with Tesla on features and performance, but they cost 30% to 40% less. A BYD Han costs about $35,000 in China. It's comparable to a Model 3 that costs $50,000. The value proposition is obvious. The technology in these cars is also interesting to compare. Tesla's main advantages are battery range, charging infrastructure, and software. Tesla's supercharger network is the best in the world: fast, reliable, and extensive. Their cars have good range, 300 to 400 miles depending on the model. And the software, especially the user interface and over-the-air updates, is genuinely better than most competitors. But BYD has caught up fast. Their latest blade battery technology is safer and longer lasting than Tesla's batteries. It uses lithium iron phosphate chemistry, which is more stable and less prone to catching fire. BYD claims their batteries can last over 1 million miles. They're also working on solid-state batteries that could be game-changing. BYD's range is improving too. Their newer models get 300+ miles of range. Not quite Tesla levels yet, but close enough for most users. And they're building out charging infrastructure rapidly in China and other markets. Where BYD lags is software and autonomous driving. Tesla's autopilot, despite not being fully autonomous, is probably the best driver assistance system available. Their full self-driving beta, despite the misleading name, is impressive technology, even if it's not actually self-driving. BYD's driver assistance features are fine, but not special. They're years behind Tesla here. But here's the thing. Most customers don't care that much about autonomous driving. They care about price, range, and reliability. BYD wins on price. They're competitive on range. And reliability? That's where it gets really interesting. Tesla's quality control has been a problem for years. Panel gaps, paint defects, parts falling off, weird noises, infotainment systems freezing. Consumer Reports has consistently rated Tesla's reliability as below average. Owners report frequent service visits. BYD's quality has improved dramatically. Their newer cars are well-built and reliable. Consumer Reports in China rate them favorably. Now let's talk about manufacturing and scale. This is where BYD really shines. Tesla talks a lot about manufacturing innovation. They have some cool ideas about casting large parts of the car in single pieces, reducing the number of parts. But their actual manufacturing execution has been messy. They've struggled to scale production. Every new model launch has been chaotic. BYD is a manufacturing powerhouse. They make millions of vehicles per year across multiple factories. Their production lines run smoothly. They hit targets. They don't have production hell. They scale efficiently. This is because they've been making cars for 20 years and batteries for 30. They know manufacturing. BYD's vertical integration is their superpower. They make batteries, motors, electronic controls, semiconductors, and most other components in-house. Tesla outsources most of this. Vertical integration gives BYD several advantages. Lower costs, because they're not paying supplier markups. Control over quality and supply. Faster innovation because they're not coordinating with external partners. And flexibility to adjust production quickly. This vertical integration is why BYD can sell cars so cheaply while remaining profitable. They're not cheap because they cut corners. They're cheap because their cost structure is fundamentally lower than Tesla's. Let's talk about money, because this is where things get really interesting. Tesla's market cap is around $600 billion as of late 2023. BYD's market cap is around $80 billion. By market valuation, Tesla is worth 7 times more than BYD. But by almost every operational metric, BYD is doing better. In 2023, Tesla had revenue of about $96 billion. They made a profit of about $15 billion. That's a roughly 15% profit margin. Good, but not amazing. BYD had revenue of about $80 billion. They made a profit of about $5 billion. But here's the key. BYD sells way more cars and sells them for much less. So their profit per car is actually higher than Tesla's on many models. Tesla's margins are being squeezed. They've cut prices repeatedly to compete with BYD and other Chinese EV makers. These price cuts hurt profitability. Tesla's margins are declining. They were over 25% a couple years ago. Now they're 15% and falling. BYD's margins are stable or improving. They're achieving scale economies. Their costs are coming down as volume increases, and they're selling more premium models with better margins. BYD's trajectory is positive, while Tesla's is questionable. Investors value Tesla much higher because of growth potential and Elon Musk's cult of personality. Tesla is valued like a tech company, not a car company. Traditional automakers trade at price-to-earnings ratios of 5 to 10. Tesla trades at 50 to 80. BYD trades at about 20. The market expects Tesla to grow massively and dominate. But what if that doesn't happen? What if BYD wins the mass market and Tesla stays a niche premium brand? The geopolitics are crucial to understanding this battle. The US and Europe are trying to block Chinese EVs. The US has basically banned Chinese EVs through tariffs and regulations. You can't buy a BYD in America. Europe is threatening tariffs on Chinese EVs, claiming they're unfairly subsidized. This protectionism helps Tesla in the West. They don't have to compete with BYD's cheaper cars. But it also limits Tesla's growth. They can't sell as many cars in China as they'd like because of backlash against American brands and tough local competition. And they're struggling in Europe as Chinese brands enter that market. BYD doesn't need the US market. China alone is bigger than the US and Europe combined for EVs. They're growing fast in Southeast Asia, South America, and the Middle East. They're entering Europe and doing well. BYD can achieve massive scale without ever selling a car in America. There's also technology transfer concerns. Western governments worry that if Chinese EVs flood their markets, it'll kill domestic auto industries. Then they'll be dependent on China for vehicles, which is a national security issue. So they're creating barriers. Whether these barriers can hold long-term is questionable. If BYD's cars are significantly cheaper and just as good, consumers will demand access. Let's talk about innovation timelines. Tesla has promised a lot of things that haven't materialized. The robo-taxi that's been next year for like 8 years. Full self-driving that still requires human supervision. The semi-truck that's barely in production. The Roadster 2.0 that was supposed to launch in 2020 and still doesn't exist. The cheap Model 2 that keeps getting delayed. Elon makes big promises and misses deadlines constantly. Some innovation does happen, but slowly and with lots of hype. BYD, by contrast, promises less but delivers more consistently. They said they'd make affordable EVs. They did. They said they'd scale to millions of vehicles. They did. They said they'd develop better batteries. They did. They're boring but effective. So here's the fundamental challenge. Tesla positioned itself as the EV leader, the innovator, the company defining the future. But BYD is beating them on volume, cost, and increasingly quality. Tesla's advantages are brand recognition in the West, better software, and charging infrastructure. Those advantages are eroding. Brand recognition means less as more competitors enter. Software matters less when the price difference is $20,000. And charging infrastructure is improving everywhere. Meanwhile, BYD's advantages, manufacturing scale and cost structure, are structural. They're hard for Tesla to overcome. Tesla's strategy of being a premium brand works in developed markets. But the mass market for EVs is in developing countries: China, India, Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America. These markets want cheap, reliable cars. BYD is positioned perfectly for them. Tesla is not. Tesla could try to make cheaper cars, but they've struggled. The Model 3 was supposed to start at $35,000. It never really did sustainably. Making cheaper cars means lower margins, which hurts Tesla's valuation. They're caught between wanting premium margins and needing volume. BYD doesn't have this problem. They're fine with lower margins on high-volume cheap cars because their cost structure allows profitability at prices Tesla can't match. This is a huge strategic advantage. Tesla's hope is that full self-driving and robo-taxis will be their next big thing. If they can create a working autonomous taxi network, it doesn't matter if BYD sells more cars. Tesla becomes a mobility company with insane margins. But full self-driving has been next year for a decade. It's starting to feel like fusion power. Always just around the corner, but never arriving. BYD is taking a different approach. They're not betting on autonomy. They're betting on making EVs for everyone. Every price point, every market. They want to be the Toyota of EVs. Reliable, affordable, everywhere. That's probably a better bet than waiting for autonomy that might never fully work. There's also the energy storage side. Both companies make batteries for grid storage. This could be a huge market as renewable energy grows. BYD is a major player here. Tesla has the Powerwall and Megapack. Both see energy storage as potentially bigger than cars. This is a separate battle that's just beginning. Some analysts think neither company will dominate. Traditional automakers like VW, GM, and Toyota are entering EVs seriously now. They have scale, distribution, brand recognition, and they're getting better at EVs. Maybe the future is fragmented with many players, not dominated by one or two companies. We're at a critical moment in the EV transition. EVs are moving from niche to mainstream. The next 5 years will determine who dominates. Will Tesla maintain its brand premium and expand to mass market? Will BYD continue scaling and taking market share globally? Will Chinese companies be blocked from Western markets, creating a fragmented global auto industry? The stakes are enormous. The global auto industry is worth about $3 trillion in annual revenue. Whoever dominates EVs potentially dominates transportation. They'll also control battery supply chains, which are crucial for renewable energy and grid storage. The implications go way beyond just cars. Right now, momentum is with BYD. They're growing faster, they're profitable, they're expanding globally, they're innovating rapidly. Tesla is cutting prices, seeing margins shrink, and dealing with Elon's chaos. If you had to bet on who's in a better position for the next decade, you'd probably bet BYD. But Tesla has surprised before. They almost went bankrupt multiple times and survived. They've pulled off things people thought were impossible. Writing them off would be foolish. Elon is unpredictable and sometimes brilliant. Tesla could figure out autonomous driving. They could launch a cheap model that works. They could innovate their way back to dominance. Or BYD just keeps executing, keeps making better, cheaper cars, keeps taking market share, and becomes the dominant global EV brand while Tesla becomes a premium niche player, like BMW or Mercedes. Profitable and respected, but not the mass market leader. The electric car war between Tesla and BYD is the most important battle in the auto industry. It will determine who controls the future of transportation. And right now, the narrative in the West is completely wrong. Most Americans think Tesla is winning. They think Elon Musk is the genius who invented EVs and is revolutionizing the industry. The reality is BYD is selling way more EVs. They're doing it for half the price. They're profitable. They're well managed. They're scaling globally. They're innovating in batteries and manufacturing. And they're positioned perfectly for the mass market in the developing world, where most future EV growth will come from. Tesla has advantages: brand, software, charging network. But these advantages are eroding. BYD is catching up on technology. They're building charging infrastructure, and their brand is strong in most of the world outside the US. Plus, they have a structural cost advantage from vertical integration that Tesla can't easily match. The geopolitics are helping Tesla in the US and Europe through protectionist policies. But this won't last forever. If BYD's cars are significantly cheaper and just as good, pressure will build to let them in. Consumers want affordable EVs. Politicians can only block cheaper, better products for so long before voters get angry. The next 5 years will be decisive. If BYD continues this trajectory, they'll be the clear global leader in EVs, selling 5 to 10 million vehicles per year, dominating most markets outside North America, setting the standard for affordable electric transportation. Tesla would still exist and be successful, but as a premium niche player, not the dominant force. If Tesla figures out autonomous driving and robo-taxis, it changes the game. But that's a big if. Full self-driving has been promised for a decade. At some point, you have to stop believing the hype and look at results. The irony is that Elon Musk has done more than anyone to make EVs mainstream in the West. Tesla proved EVs could be cool and desirable. They forced traditional automakers to take EVs seriously. But the company that benefits most from this transition might not be Tesla. It might be BYD, a company most Americans have never heard of. This is what happens when industries shift. The pioneer often isn't the winner. MySpace pioneered social networking, but Facebook won. Yahoo pioneered web search, but Google won. BlackBerry pioneered smartphones, but Apple won. Tesla pioneered cool EVs, but BYD might win the EV era. For consumers, this competition is great. It's driving innovation and pushing prices down. EVs are getting better and cheaper because of this battle. Whether you buy a Tesla or a BYD or something else, you benefit from this competition. For the industry, this is existential. Traditional automakers are scrambling to catch up. Billions are being invested in EV platforms and battery factories. Some will succeed, some will fail, but the future is clearly electric. The only question is who dominates. For geopolitics, this is about economic and technological leadership. Will the US and its allies lead in the crucial technology of the 21st century? Or will China dominate? The EV race is really a proxy for this larger question. And right now, China is winning. BYD's success is China's success. It proves that Chinese companies can compete with and beat the best Western companies in advanced technology. That's uncomfortable for people in the West who've assumed Western companies would always lead in innovation. But it's reality. BYD is the real deal. They're not a cheap knockoff. They're a serious competitor that's beating Tesla at their own game. The electric car war isn't over, but the momentum has shifted, and the company you've never heard of is winning. The disruption we uncover next will change how you think about every industry you thought was stable.